Good afternoon, everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome back to another episode here of the Hot Zone, your favorite place to talk everything competitive Apex Legends. My name is Y4SO. As always, here with my good friend Zephyr. We've got a very special guest today, as you can see right below me. He is the kill leader in EMEA Pro League right now, coming off an awesome third place finish here today in the final day of the regular split here of EMEA Pro League. We've got TylerFPS of Vexed Gaming. Tyler, welcome to the show. Thanks so much for coming to hang out with us today, my friend.
Appreciate it. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, it's been a long time coming, and I'm glad that they no longer keep us apart, Tyler. I do want to say this. I talk to Tyler a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is legitimately the longest conversation we've ever had over a voice chat. The last time, actually, the only other time I spoke to Tyler on a voice chat, I called him randomly in the middle of the day for no reason, called him bitch, and then hung up.
Yeah, I remember.
Are we squashing the beef here, or is this going to continue?
I just get a random Discord call. I answer. I hear bitch. And I'm like, what? Like, what just happened?
That was it. Yeah, so anyways, the most attractive man in the world on our broadcast today. And I gotta say, Tyler, buddy, you announced yourself, come stop by, about to call out the entirety of EU. So in a dramatic turn of fashion, instead of leading into our topics today, go ahead.
Yeah, the floor is yours.
Who's shit to talk? Where does it start, buddy?
Start with. Let's go for the leaderboard a little bit.
Okay.
The first week of Pro League, we had three bad games, and a team called SAF Esports said, "Oh, Vex aren't making land. Their mental's gone." It turns out that day we came above them. Now look, we're third overall. Where are they? 14th. Garbage. That's where I'm starting. Garbage.
Okay. All right, SAF, garbage. That's one. That's done. All right. What is it? 29 more to go?
Yeah, right?
Right?
28.
Right?
He's not going to shit on facts.
28?
Yeah.
The other teams, that some of them deserve it. Some of them are playing well. I mean, I went into the top 10 from right now. I mean, top 8, I would say deserve Pro League. They're all the teams you'd expect to make Pro League.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there's any upsets, personal opinion. But
Okay.
yeah, just put it about it.
What are your thoughts on LFO after they tried to ape you there at the end of Game 6?
My thoughts on them overall, brain dead.
Okay. All right.
But they have surprised me, They are doing 10th. They're in 10th right now, which is surprising.
I mean, team that comes from the preseason qualifiers, definitely, better than most of us expected.
Yeah, 100%. I did not expect them to be where they are right now.
All right.
We'll take the time here just off the top, Tyler, to just sit and ask you some questions, and we can really kind of dive into EMEA as a whole. But we really want to, take the opportunity while we have you on the show to just get some insight from you, kind of your thoughts and everything. So I want to start off the top. Of course, you're coming off of today's performance. You're in third place in Pro League going into the regional finals. I want to know, how did your team's performance overall this split compare to your expectations going into this split? Did you far exceed those expectations? Do you feel like you're right where you expected yourself to be? Did you maybe feel first place? Where are you kind of at on that front?
If I'm honest, going into this, we expected to be top 10, but from our scrims results, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. I did not expect to be where we are right now, being third overall and pretty close to first. But I did expect to be top 10, and that's what we all wanted and we expected to be.
Okay. I mean, made short work of it at that. The region has seen some struggles, obviously, and I think that has definitely assisted y'all in your pursuit for it, because coming into us, there were a lot of changes, and you guys went way back, right? I mean, obviously, we sing the name Vexed like a ton. I mean, I sit here and scream it all day long at this point, but coming before this, y'all were Bosch, right? And I think personally, especially in comparison to a lot of the teams out there, y'all have kind of maintained a much more consistent roster after bringing on Matafe than a lot of the other teams we see here. Would you agree with that and think that's something that's kind of helped y'all out?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in off season, we became a team in off season, so we had what, like 4, 5, 6 months to play. So like we just sort of in the off season we farmed. We played. I think we were the most consistent team in our region in the off season, which going into Pro League, that's why we were confident. And yeah, like you said, like a lot of teams were making roster changes.
Yep.
And a lot of like unfortunate circumstances of happenings, which it basically has just led a gateway to the first place, and that's why I think we dominate right now because we're the best fighting team in our region.
Looking forward to LAN because you are, as of right now, one of the 5 teams from EMEA that have locked in LAN. Even with finals, there can still be some movement here on the leaderboard. Ascend, Aurora, yourselves on Vexed, Alliance, IG, you're all going to LAN. When you look forward to LAN and some of the teams that you may see there, of course, looking at North America, the craziness we've seen at APAC North, who are you most excited to get to play against in that LAN environment?
Honestly, I'm looking forward to playing teams like Fnatic on those kind of regions because I've actually never played like those teams, and when I watch them, they'll have like really, really good movement and they're really mechanical. So I'm actually looking forward to fighting those kind of players, fighting like generally mechanical good players.
How do you, and well, I'll pin this then in a similar fashion because I would say arguably Vexed is one of, if not the strongest fighting squad in EMEA. In a straight 3v3, you guys rather often than not don't fail the equation. So going up against a squad that you may feel has a lot of mechanical skill, where do you think your strengths lie then?
I mean, that's the thing. That's why I'm That's why I'm looking forward to fighting those teams. Because I'm going to be honest, there's not many mechanical teams in EU. You don't see people like going tap strafes. You don't really see like a whole lot of people just doing super glides. Well, I watch like Fnatic players. These people are just moving around the map. Like every chance they get, they're super gliding. They're doing backflips. Like they're just going crazy. So that's why I'm looking forward to fighting those kind of regions.
Okay. Is there? I mean, I'm gonna pick on it just because it's good for my further discussion regarding the EMEA versus NA thing. Is there from NA NA that you might be looking forward to potentially fighting or stomping if that's a choice of wordage?
I mean NRG. Last time we fought NRG in a tournament, we contested them. We went 3-1. So I'm looking forward to fighting NRG off spawn again and keeping our success on the top.
All right.
That's pretty much it.
Damn.
That could be a really fun matchup. I'm certainly looking forward to it. If not Vexed, because you guys got the regional final coming up on Sunday. Well, I don't imagine you guys are going to take it easy. With LAN locked in, you don't really have a lot to worry about. So if not you guys, who's winning the regional final for EMEA on Sunday?
Oof.
It's either IG or Ascend, because the way they play the game is they play to fast rotate, they play to hold spots, and I think right now IG is probably the best team to do that, the best team at doing that. So honestly, I'd honestly say IG or Ascend. Ascend are a bit iffy or not, but if they have a bad day, it's a bad day.
That's true. If they come into regional finals in a very similar fashion to the very often opties that we've seen from them, it lacks a level of consistency to warrant. I mean, they're big winners. I think probably the highest out of any other team in EMEA at this point. I think they have literally picked up the most first place finishes. It's just, I mean, you said it yourself. It's a very... Who knows? They may come in and just absolutely wipe the floor, and we literally see Split 1 all over again from year 2, and we reintroduce Ascend as the double winners of the fall season here for ALGS, or it's someone new.
I can confirm that Ascend have the most wins through the regular split. 8 first place wins. That is best. Second place is IG with 7 after their 3 today. And Y4SO Vexed with 4, kind of right in the middle of the pack. They're, I think, tied for third with 1 or 2 other teams. Alliance has got 4. So I think a pretty good pick there when you look at, Ascend and IG combining for 15 wins across the split so far. So definitely going to have my eyes on both of them. Who in EMEA surprised you the most this split, Tyler?
Honestly, VZLN, they're not. I mean, they had a bad day today, but it's not over yet.
Sure.
Looking for Org forever. That's pretty much it. Like,
Okay.
for the top 8 right now, they're the teams everyone expected to be where they're at right now, and that's pretty much it. Like, I wouldn't say anyone that's not in top 20 right now. I wouldn't say they that's just good. Like, the leaderboard is good how it is right now, in my opinion.
Well, then I guess on the opposite end of that question, who's disappointed you in EMEA? Who was someone that you maybe looked out for? Obviously, you say this top 8, but even maybe well within the top 8, or obviously outside of it, who hasn't performed?
Maybe Totem. Yeah, no, I mean just Totem. I think I expected Totem to do a little better since they were like a full roster. They haven't made roster swaps other than Jazz, sorry.
Yep.
But I mean that's about it. Navi, but they did make a roster change, and obviously they have like the circumstances. And
Right.
GG, I didn't expect GG to go out. Oh, they've gone out, but just how it plays. Especially after their win, they had that one day.
Yeah, not a ton from Gaiman Gladiators outside of that day 4 performance. So would you say that Scars, with how rough of a split that they had, finishing 28th overall, they had a 3rd place finish. Other than that, they didn't break top 15. Is that to your expectations for Scars? Were you pretty low on them coming into the split?
Yeah. I mean, roster changes and that roster is just thrown together. That's just thrown together because they're friends. It's an org, and I mean, it's showing. Like, you can look at the leaderboard and it's just showing you how bad that they've performed. Yeah. Same with like Heroes, in my opinion. Heroes was a thrown together roster, and 27th.
I mean, come January, we'll see how much they can potentially. Obviously, there is a level of experience you gain playing in Pro League lobbies, but we will see how that matches up against a lot of those Challenger Circuit teams that, I mean, I myself get to sit here and cover time in and time out. I will throw it out there, obviously, here as we continue to talk to it. But yeah, as you can see there in chat, this is why I talk about it. Any questions you may have for Tyler, any thoughts that you want him to personally share. And it's a question that I will ask, of course, right here. What's the top 5 controllers in EMEA according to us and you, Tyler?
Me, Unlucky, without a doubt. Like, there's no questions there.
Effect.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. Ranked players, if we're talking ranked players, Effect. But this is his first tournament coming in. I mean, he is good.
He's good.
But it's me, Unlucky, Lufka,
okay.
Slayers. He's always proven himself to do
Slayers.
well. He's always been up there.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would have said Lippon, but obviously, he's not on a team anymore. But I would have said Lippon. 100% I would have put Lippon in there.
Well, hey, they said the 5 best top controller inputs in EMEA. They didn't say ones that have to be currently signed.
Yeah, I'd go with that. Because don't get me wrong, Effect is really good. And he is like a really top controller player, but he hasn't proven himself yet, in my opinion. Like, just because you can, just because he farmed today, like he's doing well. But
hold on. He is relatively farmed for a good portion of the season at this point, Tyler. Just because he came out today on day 9, bruh, he's literally been. I mean, 5 days, yes, is not a lot, but we've seen other teams absolutely drop hot bombs for 5 days straight and end up in literally 28th, right?
But it is also one tournament. Like, if he had more tournaments and he performed under more tournaments, then 100% I'll put him top controller player. But top 5, like currently in the state it is, like I wouldn't say top 5, just because he has more to learn.
What about, just curious, you leave Zane out of that list?
I mean, Zane's the same as Effect. Like, if they both had more tournaments, they both, performed in more tournaments, 100% Zane would be in there. Same with Effect.
Okay.
But they lack experience, and you can see, like, when you watch both teams, you can notice how they both, like, make little mistakes. And that's the reason they're not on my top 5.
All right. I think that's fair. I mean, I think that's a good one. So there you go. That's apparently your top 5 controller. Do you have anything to add maybe there, Yeso, on those?
No, I'll trust Tyler's expertise there. I think
Okay.
I think he makes a really good point. And somebody in chat, I think, adding a little bit on there, talking about like Slurpee G. Slurpee G is a player that I think a lot of people have a lot of confidence in and think is a really talented player in North America, but hasn't really got it done at the top competitive level. And I think Tyler makes a point there. Though putting in some good work throughout this first split, I think does lend some credit to Effect. And I think it'll quickly come in if he can carry that into competing on LAN, continue that into the second split in EMEA. I think then Effect really kind of solidifies that. Solidifies themselves as a top 5 controller player in EMEA. But I think Tyler makes a good point that you can't just come in and play 5 days of Pro League and you're right into that top 5. You're gonna have to build that resume just a little bit.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. Obviously, finals are coming up here, and I think that's going to be a really a nice example of what Alliance can do. And obviously, as they are likely to be making their way towards London or wherever LAN is going to be, then yeah,
Who knows?
We'll see how they perform. It's got to be London, guys.
By the way, I like Raven in chat. One loves your look, Tyler, and then says, "quote I'd smoke Tyler in the range roller 1v1." You gonna take that challenge against Raven, Tyler?
I mean, he's a coach. Let's be real. He's not smoking no one. He ain't smoking no one.
Raven's pretty okay at the game.
Let's make it happen.
Yeah, I'll put some money down. You boys want to compete for a 4-piece nuggets?
If you win, you get to eat lunch, Tyler.
You get to go home and have dinner. I will transition this to the next question though, because I actually have something prepped for it that I didn't even realize. If there was a World Cup for Apex, which international teams would be the best? I know it's a little bit kind of out there, but just as a fun little transition, you can look in chat. I posted a nice list there. What do you guys think? For those who are audio listeners, or obviously those on Twitch who can't see this, I definitely have a list of like 30 countries with the respective players alongside those countries as like a pseudo World Cup format. England would have a better chance for that than the actual World Cup. Okay, Raven.
Damn.
Dude, Raven, why are you shitting on Tyler so much right now? What did he do to you?
All I know is, didn't they make it farther than the US did?
Yeah, like...
US literally called the game soccer too. Like, I don't even want to argue about it with a
All
US
right,
person about
we
football.
called the game soccer, and we made it to round of 16, okay? That's worse than a lot of things out here, okay? Yeah, but if you just want to quickly maybe what teams might have the best chance? I don't know.
I'm thinking USA, Sweet Reps Ram.
Yeah.
That's a really good squad.
US would be disgusting.
There's a lot of US options. I just put together random.
UK could also be good, like Noises, Idling, JMW, Support, Chaotic, Fragger.
Yeah.
But yeah, USA is definitely, when you look at it, it's definitely the winning team. Or Australia. Australia's not looking bad.
Mexico's pretty good. I don't know if you know too much about, obviously, NA, but Yanya, Jaguares, Easel.
No, I've heard about Yanya Joe being one of the best controllers in that region.
Yep.
Yeah, no. But
I will continue to say, any questions for Tyler, feel free to throw them out now that more people are starting to arrive and may have missed out on that. What about you, Yeso?
In terms of the international teams or the
sure.
national teams, I mean, yeah, I'm going US pretty hard. I'm gonna be completely biased and talk about the depth of talent in our region. Sure, do we have that championship yet in the ALGS? Not quite, but I think we can stack a roster pretty well. So I'm gonna go with the US on that one.
Okay, well, we'll see. Tyler, we did miss one question. How much do you attribute your success currently in the EMEA split to your data mining abilities?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm not the person that does any of that. I don't even get told about any of that. That's all Matafa. I just,
Okay.
All I know is, we got a secret agent, and them two work together. I'm just there to shoot. I'm just there to do my job.
I doubt that. Okay, there's a level of decision making that comes out of you. You use grav lifts to throw your dead body in random directions to draw Aurora out.
That's just game. That's just like your personal game sense and awareness, isn't it? Like Matafa does all the hard work. Like it's all down to him. Like our success is all because of him. No matter how. Like the only reason me and Andre get kills is because he puts us in the spots. Like that's what I don't think people. There's not enough respect on Matafa as an IGL. Like the only reason we're doing as well as we are, and like the reason I can perform so well is because of my IGL. He puts me in the positions. He tells me who to shoot, where to shoot, where to be, and stuff like that. So there definitely needs to be a little bit more respect on Matafa as an IGL in our region.
Hey, I would say within the region for sure. From me, of course, I'm a big lover. Okay, never forget it. I support all three of y'all boys. And I think obviously the biggest change that y'all encompassed going from what was split 2 into this off season was the fact that you did bring Matafe on when things broke up. Because, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but you were IGLing, right?
Yeah.
And that was, I mean, fine, but it wasn't the appropriate role that you wanted to do.
Exactly. So it ended up with me leaving the team. Like me leaving, at the time it was Unlucky and Blast.
Right, yep.
And yeah, I left, and then Unlucky wanted to go looking for team, and then obviously all the stuff with Guild happened, so Matafa was looking for team, and then me and Unlucky together had a Pro League spot from Ethereum, so we just threw it together, picked up Matafa, which we wanted to do anyway, and yeah, off season we farmed, and now look, we're here 3rd place overall, about to win it this regional finals Sunday, and then go into London.
Landon, yes.
London.
I love the confidence. Speaking of Matafe, I really wanted to pick your brain just about the end of that last game today. I was really impressed with the way you guys played it. You already talked a little bit about, the brain dead push from LFO there at the end, and you guys pretty quickly cleaned them up. But just watching the end of that game, and we got a really good bird's eye view on the broadcast of the setups from yourselves, Totem and Horizon. Can you just kind of walk me through what the comms were like and what the discussion between yourselves and Matafe was going into those last couple of minutes to close out that win and end the day in 3rd place?
Yeah, so we knew that we knew the bridge team had to play like the stairway in the middle of the bridge, and where we wanted to go, where we ended up going, was a head glitch, so no one could shoot us. Like the building team would pressure the team in the middle because the team in the middle would have to beat either us or them. So we had the best spot. So Matafa wanted me to ult the left, so left can't shoot us, or they have to shoot my ult before they shoot us, and then we queue across the water to take the head glitch, and that's what we did. And for some reason, someone in the middle, whatever team it was, one of them died to the zone, and I realized that, and it just made the game a lot easier for us to win. I don't know who it was, but somehow they died to zone.
Someone fucked up, and I said, "Awesome, this is great."
Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it happened, and we took the victory.
Yeah,
it was a damn good finish to the day. It was fun to watch today, especially like crazy with first 4 games, it's IG, Vexed, IG with the wins. It was insane.
IG are really a phenomenal team. They're really, really good.
All right.
Any other questions in chat?
Yeah. Any other questions in chat, or Tyler? Any last thoughts on EMEA as the region, or anything you'd like to share? I mean, the floor is yours. When you're not on, you're in your cave with your Dr. Pepper and your McDonald's, and this is, potentially one of your last opportunities to actually speak for a while here.
No, I don't really got anything to say, I mean, we're the best team in our region. Like, there's no questions.
Yeah, I knew you'd say that.
Best overall team. There's no one better. This is all I want to say. And, I want to say a big thanks to Dr. Pepper. To fuel me every day. Without them,
I may not be the fragger I am, you know? So, Dr. Pepper, if you're listening, I love you. That's just pretty much it.
Shouts out to Dr. Pepper. Get my man on a Dr. Pepper can like those. I'm pretty sure
God.
was T Squared on Dr. Pepper? I know he was on some sodas back in the day.
T Squared was in some
Yeah,
sodas.
He was sponsored by Dr. Pepper. I spoke to
Yeah.
him one.
Get Vexed on some Dr. Pepper cans and bottles. I'm here for it.
Also, Vexed, get jerseys, because I'm sick of this.
We need some,
Alright.
we need some jerseys for the boys.
We need some jerseys for all the boys and girls out there who support this roster. I am incredibly disappointed that I went on and found out that there was no way to buy a jersey the other day.
Unacceptable.
I will say, Tyler, we meet up at LAN. We do a quick trade. I give you a Zephyr shirt. You give me your jersey, and then we move on.
Hey,
right?
I do have two.
I was gonna say
Oh!
Tyler's winning that trade big time. That's a dub, getting one of the very exclusive Zephyr shirts.
Yeah, there's only 5. How much does Tyler attribute his success today to rechargeable hand warmers?
Oh my god, everything. The last game day,
That's a
the
thing?
scrims, all week. So the UK is really, really cold right now, like snowing, all this.
Yeah.
So all week I've been waking up and my hands are just frozen. Like I can't, like I even tweeted, like I can't move my hands. They're so cold. So I've been playing scrims all week. I've been doing bad. So I think it was yesterday I ordered a rechargeable hand warmer to come the next day. So I'm praying it would come, and it came in time today. And no lie, during the games we'd rotate. I'm playing one-handed. I'm holding my hand warmer in my other hand. I was legit just like holding it all day. It's so good. So the success today was due to the hand warmer.
Will we be seeing the hand warmers at LAN?
Oh, for sure, 100%.
Well, especially if it's in London, I can't
Yeah,
imagine
as
it's
I
any
say,
warmer there.
It's already the same.
100%.
Wait, Tyler, where are you from?
I'm from the southwest. I live in a place called Plymouth. I'm like 4 hours away from London.
Okay.
Okay. Quick drive.
Yeah.
All right. Well, if no one has any further questions for God himself,
He's
it's-
graced
I think
us
it's
with his
time.
presence
yeah.
long enough. We'll release him to go grab lunch and
Yeah, go
take a
grab
load
dinner.
off after today's
I'm running
performance.
to the shop. I need to get some more Dr. Pepper. I'm running short.
Ooh,
Oh my God.
gotta refuel.
Yeah, I'm out right now.
Be ready for Sunday. Tyler, thank you so much for taking the time to just come and hang out with us and talk some shit. I think we definitely got plenty of that here in these about 30 minutes of time, so we greatly appreciate it. Best of luck on Sunday. We'll be keeping an eye out for the Vex squad to hopefully finish on a high note before headed to playoffs, my friend.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah.
Anytime.
All right.
Have a nice day.
You as well.
Bye, Tyler.
Oh man. TylerFPS, ladies and gentlemen.
We were gonna
Sliding
keep him here longer, but he did say, "I don't know anything else about other regions," which obviously he doesn't have to. He's
No.
just gonna fucking clean house.
His job is to
come land.
fry an EMA.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's Matafe does the research. He shows up and he shits on them all, right? So he said, no idea. But obviously, we've got a lot more topics coming through. You heard a little bit of our thoughts on finals. Was there anything you wanted to touch on, just in a kind of last minute spree regarding EMEA with the finals?
I'm gonna bring up the standings one more time just so everybody can see it here. Let me adjust my.
For those of you who
Setup
can't
here.
see it on our audio, Ascend is currently in lead with 106,
There you
Aurora
go.
105,
I've got it
Vex
up. I've got it
104,
up. Come on.
Alliance 93, IG 93, Firebeavers 87, KCP 80, and then E6 to round it out with 69, VZN 68 for our audio listeners.
Yeah. So if you missed the top of the show, just FYI, Ascend, Aurora, Vexed, Alliance, IG, all going to LAN. Because it is important to remember that the regional final and the placement points can shift the overall standings in EMEA. So just because you got into top 9 after day 9 does not guarantee that you're going to LAN. So Firebeavers, KCP, E6, and VZN all have to still perform on Sunday to lock themselves in for LAN. And then, of course, whoever wins it, guaranteed to go to LAN. So that's the big opportunity for those teams lower on the standings. But it's important to note that everybody, let's see, 68 points is the threshold. Technically, nobody is locked out of LAN without winning yet, right? God is at Game of Drones, 52 points, and VZN is at 68. That's only a 16-point gap. So even the 20th place team right now in Pro League doesn't necessarily have to win on Sunday to go to LAN. So it's important to remember that the math is still in favor of these teams outside of the top 10.
It is still very close, though, right?
Yes.
Because the bar will raise ever so slightly come finals, and as a result, we'll see that shift. And so it might be more of a threshold. I'd say it can't be a lot. It'd probably be what? 75 at max.
Are you talking about the cutoff for LAN?
Cutoff for top 9, yeah.
It's probably gonna be higher than 75. The LAN cutoff.
Because think about it, a good portion of the teams that you see currently on the board right now are likely going to assume the heavy kind of majority of the points. And as a result, the bottom-ended teams are only going to be putting up at maximum, unless VZN, E6 like really, really pop off. Obviously, those kind of lower middle of the pack teams are only really assuming an extra maybe 10, 11 points if they're super lucky.
I think the cutoff's going to be at 80.
I think
it's
80,
cutoff's going to be.
75, 80 is a reasonable assumption.
Yeah, but it's just important to note that there's a ton to play for, and you don't necessarily have to win on Sunday to go to LAN if you're outside of that top 9. Like SAF can finish second place. That would put them at 80 points, and that theoretically could be enough, depending on if they get help elsewhere. That could theoretically be enough to get them to LAN. So just there's a ton to play for all 20 teams on Sunday. Of course, again, that top 5, safe. They can't be caught. IG at 93 points and Alliance at 93 points are safe from anybody catching up to them. SAF second place, never happening. I love it. Tyler hops off, but hops right back in chat. Watching the stream to SAF second place. Yeah, if you listen to Tyler, SAF is not going to get anything done on Sunday. They're not going to make it.
I like how we told him to talk his shit, and he only picked on SAF. And
I mean, he called LFO brain dead. He said, and I would say talk his shit saying, when I prompted like scars, was that at expectation them finishing at the bottom.
But
he was like, yep. That's about what I expected. So
is that talking shit or more so truth at that point?
Those two things are not mutually exclusive. That's all I'm gonna say.
All right. Anyways, personally, when it comes to EMA myself, just to kind of wrap it up very quickly, I don't see anything that really stands out to me. The big question is going to be the weird kind of little race we have at the kind of cusp of the board right now. Mm-hmm. And I'll even include KCP in this. Because one really bad day for KCP, kind of like they've been having on their downturn here, can be extremely punishing, right?
Yeah.
And the math definitely helps them out a lot, and they're likely secured. But it is definitely interesting how close it could potentially be. For teams like, though, E6, VZN, LFO4, Game Ward V2, it is incredibly tight.
Yeah, the bubble is definitely the most interesting spot to watch on Sunday. KCP, yeah, they're probably going to LAN. Like, just mathematically, KCP would probably have to turn in their worst performance of the split on Sunday to not make it to LAN. So they should be fine. But I think it is important to note that KCP have had 3 good days and 3 duds this split. And I would say I think KCP is reasonably one of the biggest disappointments, which is like crazy to say to a team that is kind of almost guaranteed to go to LAN, has, you know, won a day this split, has had 3 like solid performances, but I would say we expected better from KCP. The fact that they have a 5.6 7 point showing is, you know, half of their split. They didn't really turn in good performances, and that is, in my opinion, below expectations for KCP. So, you know, hopefully they show up on Sunday, and, you know, even if they don't win, they kind of finish the split on a good note and carry some momentum into LAN, because I think there are rightfully a lot of questions around this team right now with the way they performed.
I would say it is. I don't know. It is. They're a team that clearly has the caliber within themselves to be at their very best and to even be competitive to finish off the season, you know, top 2, top 3 potentially still, right? They can walk into those finals and pick something up. It's just they haven't been able to hold that level of dominance in a long time, and I personally can't even pinpoint exactly why, right?
It's just been high highs and low lows.
Right. I think out of all the teams here, they probably have the most 50-50 performance within our top contenders. Because even a team like Element 6, obviously we've seen some changes here, and we'll discuss a little bit of the roster, you know, mix-ups at the very end today. But they themselves have still managed to find a relative consistency, albeit a slight dip in the middle of the season.
Yep. Yeah, we'll have to see if Element 6 can finish on a high note and lock themselves in for lane, because they're definitely, you know, themselves and VZN are the teams most in danger of getting bumped out of that top 9 on Sunday. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. We're going to swap over to North America as we get ready for the final 6 games of the regular split tonight. Of course, then finals coming on Sunday. Team Liquid in first place, the only team up at or above 100 points through their match days so far. And of course, their split is done. They do not play tonight. TSM with one more opportunity to go. But as we look forward to the end of the split here in North America, a lot of different teams to play for here. Of course, important to note that NRG, a team that I think we have rightfully had a lot of questions of throughout this split, they finish on a high note there with that 25-point big win this past Sunday. Their split is done. They are headed to the regional final, and some big movements still to be made. LG, the Guard, 100 Thieves can all make some big moves tonight, try and catch up maybe past TSM. We'll see how TSM does tonight, but nothing has been set in stone as of yet in North America. It's going to be a hell of a race to the finish.
I think the biggest discussion today for North America is the fact that Complexity, MPS, and Dark Zero, their season has come to an end. They will no longer be competing, right, until we breach the finals here.
Well, yeah, on Sunday, yeah.
It is the perfect opportunity for HEC, Space Station, Furia, and I would even start, I mean, it's a little bit tougher for ESA in season, but for those 3 in particular, today is the day about forming gaps, right? If Space Station, HEC, Furia, if one of them can have a just absolutely banger performance to round out their final day, it makes it so much indefinitely harder for a team like Dark Zero, MPS, and Complexity to come back during those finals and put up points that will hopefully keep them safe or hopefully send them on to LAN, right?
Yeah, definitely big opportunities for those teams. I also want to make a point, because I really watched through North America from Sunday last night. Not only, credit to NRG for kind of a clutch timed win there on Sunday, but the entire top 4 were really teams that needed some big points here at the end of the season, and they showed up when it matters most, because that top 4 was NRG, 100 Thieves, Complexity, and MPS, and these were all teams that really needed some big points in their last days of competition, and they all got it on Sunday. Of course, NRG, they're done until finals. Complexity, MPS, both done until finals. But now 100 Thieves with that big opportunity at 76 points to make a big jump here and possibly lock themselves in going into LAN. It's very tight though on these North American standings, so it's going to depend on how things shake out tonight. But big hats off to those squads showing up on Sunday when it mattered most, because they set themselves up for a big opportunity going into the regional finals. I want to jump down to the bottom of the standings, though. I don't have a screenshot for the folks at home, but I do want to highlight a couple of teams in a very tough spot. Cloud9, of course, they're now playing as NRO.
NRO,
I think you sent me.
NRO potentially, or NRZ, if Zach is still working with them. I'm a little nipped on that. But yeah,
they're at 33 points, tied with bots going into their last night of competition here tonight. Sentinels at 28 points. And important to note, tied for 22nd for C9. Sentinels at 24th. Technically, right now, C9 and Sentinels in the relegation zone. But bots are done. So C9 needs a single point tonight. They need to not finish in last to avoid relegation. Sentinels need a few more points than that, but it's hard to expect a lot out of Sentinels when they've got 0-point performance, 2 points, 5 points, 8 points. So these are some big teams that have been playing for big orgs. Of course, the roster leaving C9 recently, but these are teams that you don't expect to be in the relegation zone that are there with just one more day to play. They've got to make something happen tonight.
I will say it is very dangerous for these squads because, personally, this is the way I look at it. A team, obviously, we don't know what C9 is going to be up to, but Sentinels, right? A team that has seen its tried and tribulations and now will likely be down to relegation if they are not careful or if they don't put up the points. And I mean, it is very, very real that they do not, given their previous history. For Sentinels, I mean, that's got to be scary if you're a player on that roster. I mean, if you're a team that is being forced to play through those Pro League qualifiers and then you flub it up there, which it's a completely different, type of tournament to work your way through. I mean, that can be potentially career changing. So, I mean, it's definitely a situation you don't want to find yourself in. And obviously, they have the perfect opportunity to rectify this. And we might see teams like Oxygen and Bots, or potentially maybe even FaZe if things are very, very bad, right? Find their way in. It'd have to be very bad, though. Very bad.
It would have to be very bad, but it is important to note that FaZe finished last in their previous day of competition this past Sunday.
Saying.
And, not that I have any desire to like brag about it, because, as I stated multiple times at the start of the season when we were doing our predictions, FaZe doing well is a win for everybody. And I wanted that team to succeed. But outside of their first day of Pro League, they really have not gotten all that much done. And there's a reason that they are sitting right now at 20th place. And going into, let's see, at 42 points, 25 gets them to 67?
Yeah.
Right? So, or 21 gets them to 63. FaZe might make regional finals. They have a shot to make regional finals. They only go to playoffs. If they make regional finals, it's going to be slim margins. Like, they might only make playoffs if they win regional finals. So, FaZe got to figure something out, and they have run out of time. Optic, they'll have an opportunity, but they box themselves into a corner. A lot of teams here that I think expectations were high for that have not performed to set expectations. CLG, another one, right? I think we were looking at CLG as a team that could really perform in that group. They really haven't done so. This split.
They lining going out of off season, they had some, what was at the time recent success, and it just hasn't been a thing.
Yeah. So we'll have to see. Lot of things still yet to be decided in North America when it comes to the regional final, relegation, going to playoffs, and we're going to likely see some pretty monumental shifts in these standings come to the end of tonight's 6 games, and we'll have to see where everybody ends up. But I'm looking forward to it. It's been at the very least very entertaining to watch North America this split. We'll see how things end up. Let's talk about quite possibly the most entertaining set of Apex games in the history of the ALGS. Let's go to APAC North, Zephyr, where they just recently had their regional final on the 11th, which I believe was Sunday. Yes, it was.
Yep.
How many games did
Crazy.
they go, Zephyr?
Greater than 9.
More than 12, less than 14, I think.
More than 12, less than 14. A 13-game regional final.
Yeah.
I think a tied
What the
record,
fuck?
I think, for match points. There's a couple inklings out there, people saying.
They had 14 teams on match point
Oh,
going
my God.
into game 13. And technically had 2 more.
Had that gone on further.
No, they had.
And then we
they
would've-
had let me correct. 13 teams, and then finished with 15 at the end of that final game. That's crazy.
Literally, after a certain point in the match point format, you are. I have no idea. You just had to be handing wins to the bottom end of the bracket for this to occur. It is surely just insane.
Yeah, and ultimately, Crazy Raccoon do come out with the win in
Yes.
that 13th and final game. And not a like rest on your laurels, sit in a spot, slow play
No.
for the end of the game kind of win. They won with 13 kills. Like that's a damn
Very dominant
good win for Crazy Raccoon there in the end of the regional final. They are going to LAN, and of course, Crazy Raccoon, a team that we've seen on LAN multiple times in the ALGS. Definitely a team that a lot of people like to watch, but they're going to LAN. Fnatic, who Tyler talked about being excited to play, is going to be there as well as 8 other teams from APAC North. But that was just a crazy regional final. And I know you're a fan of at least discussing
Yes.
match point format. What is kind of your biggest takeaway just looking at that kind of from a broad perspective, going 13 games, 13 teams ending
man.
up on match point?
It is genuinely it's obviously it was really fun.
Mhm.
Just as a spectator, right? I will say 13 is a bit extensive.
It's a little crazy.
There were people, Y4SO, who would go, like I myself included, I could have gone to sleep at the start of APAC North, whole night of, doozy, would have
Mhm.
woken up and the matches were still going on. I think all in total, this was just scratching 8 hours of Apex straight, which is
I was living vicariously through Tiff's tweets because I wasn't watching it, and I checked
Right.
Twitter and I just see Tiff like losing her mind, and I was like,
It's crazy.
What is going on?
And it starts also with like so many teams. Like I think it was Rig. They literally were on match point within 5 games, and then we had at least, I think it was Pulver X coming through in Flora, and oh yeah, fucking North Exception. They themselves, all of them, coming right through after that. So at the halfway point of this match point format,
Yeah.
we already had like 5 teams, some of the highest performing too, already potentially on their way to taking win. And we went on for another 6 after that. Just absurd.
Yeah. And this just, I don't know, it brings me back to Champs and all of the hype around like Furia and getting those extra games, right? Everybody watching, and you're going, okay, this team, they're all on match point. Oh, 1's down. Oh, 2's down. 3's down. And everybody's going, oh shit, we're going again. And that kind of hype building up progressively throughout 13 games of Apex Legends, I cannot imagine if we hit double digits in a match point format on LAN.
Oh, it'd be absurd. We were close. We were really close.
Imagine we
went
get up
to
to
9
12 or 13. Like, the energy in that building would be crazy.
I will say, I know for myself, like, it obviously it feels a little different because obviously I'm not an APAC North fan.
Sure.
Oh, trust me, Trilly, we will get to that. I have taken note. And it is right there at the very bottom of our topics.
Yep.
There is just an absurd level that comes along with it. And I personally think it's really fun. But I think potentially we need to address some sort of format to, I don't know. There was no breaks ever given to anyone in APAC North, and I like the concept of fatigue, and that's very, very fun. But I can't imagine a world where you say, I mean, statistically, match point format can go probably upwards of what, 21 games, maybe.
Like statistically, yes.
Theoretically, like at max. I mean, there's scenarios where it can go long, but it's just like, it's very clear that where it stands right now at 50 points, there is sometimes the chance for these games. Where do you draw the line? Do you sit there and say once it hits game 12, do you reintroduce the match point format tomorrow, or do you just continue to full send it? You know, I don't know. Personally, I was there in Raleigh, right? I was there in that match point format, and I would have stayed until 3 a.m. to see those games complete if it went for another 6, right? It didn't.
Yeah.
But it is, especially when it's remote, right? And there's less of the impact of like having the energy of the crowd and whatnot. It definitely feels maybe a bit, it feels a bit drawn out in that scenario, I'd say.
Yeah, I think, in my opinion, and I think it's a good point to talk about, like, the length of the match point format running and exhaustion coming into play. Those are lower on my list of my issues with the match point format.
I agree.
You know, and we've had these discussions at length before, talking about how it is not necessarily the best format for deciding the best team. It just, can more rewards a team that can win a game at the right time. But isolating it to that kind of issue, I think the only point where I want to throw restrictions on it is if it becomes more common. And it really isn't, right? There's a reason
That's fair.
Champs was so special. There's a reason that this APAC North story is so special, because it doesn't run this long normally, right? So many match point formats end incredibly quickly. If I remember correctly, I think one of the match point formats ended in like 5 games.
Let's check South America.
I think it was. I literally just pulled up South America. I think South America ended in like 5 games.
They ended in 8, and hilariously, it was Kick, not Singularity.
Okay, what about Apex South?
But I bet you if we go back to last year,
Apex South, that's right. It was Moist. Apex South ended in 5 games, in only 2. And here's the funny thing: Moist is the only team that got to match point before that last game. Right? Dreamfire only crossed the match point threshold in Game 5. Moist won, got second place with 2 kills in Game 2, first place in Games 3, 4, and 5, and got across the match point threshold in Game 4, and then won it all in Game 5. Like, this is still uncommon, but the match point sweet spot a lot of the time is between 6 and 8 games, and a majority of these these times we get match point format end in that zone. If 11, 12, 13 games become more common, then I think you start to have that conversation about setting a limit there. But I think it's special, it's exciting, the fans love it, so I'm open to leaving things as is for the time being.
Okay. I will say this could have gone down in a very worse situation, though. Obviously, we walk away in APAC North with, I apologize to those who know it off the top of their head, Crazy Raccoon.
Yep.
They come out with the win. imagine if we go into it and it gets to round 13 and suddenly it's, I don't know, MKN or FCD,
Mhm.
who MKN come into it 11th, right? And then they win it all. And suddenly it's a really, really long format with a winner who hit match point at the very last strike of dawn and then picked up a win. And then that once again brings up the whole match point format and its whole divisive discussion.
Yeah.
And oh my gosh, imagine.
Yeah.
We're very lucky that Crazy Raccoon, a team that consistently kind of in that top 3 and also obviously a more recognizable name in the North region, won it.
Yep. Yeah.
I think that's very important.
Yeah, because match point is always at its most controversial when it's that unexpected team that maybe, just got onto match point format or to match point at like game 8 and then wins game 9. And then it's just like, well, damn, they played like shit for 7 games, had a solid game in game 8 and then won game 9. Like, is that really your champion? And there's, a discussion to be had there. And we have as well.
Many
match
times.
point format is not perfect. And I think there's multiple points that you can attack it from. So we'll see where it goes. But at the very least, shouts out to APAC North for putting on an absolute banger of a regional final. And we can only hope that we get that kind of hype and excitement from EMEA and North America this coming Sunday, because that would be incredible. And then fingers crossed for London getting bangers. So that would be wonderful. Let's jump into our last kind of full topic here before we jump to questions. And just to remind you folks, if you guys have any questions for us, feel free to drop them in chat when you think of them. We'll address them here at the end of the show. Team Liquid officially announcing this morning. Of course, it had been talked about for a while. Liquid had announced that they were allowing their team to explore other options, but officially announced today that they are letting the team go. Of course, this is the number 1 team in North America right now. May not last through the night, but still, they've been incredible this split. And Team Liquid saying goodbye, and this is, a similar conversation to what we had about C9 last week. A big staple organization in the esports ecosystem at large saying goodbye to their professional Apex Legends roster. And it's a different conversation than C9, because C9, bottom of the barrel team this split, TL the farthest thing from it.
Yeah. And then on top of that too, obviously we say goodbye to TL, but new information that pops up literally in the midst of our podcast.
Yeah.
Sykes no longer going to be with the TL boys.
Yeah. So that is a fascinating revelation.
Would you like to know why, really quick?
The
reason why is that when TL first announced that they would be allowing them to field additional roster offers from other orgs have gone to Fun and Nocturnal with offers as a duo, but usually not including Sykes within those plans. The orgs have reached out with different or pre-existing thirds in mind, and it is why Sykes has decided to leave the roster.
Supposedly Sykes is trolling. Apparently he is farming impressions, according to some people. While I can neither confirm nor deny that
if he's trolling for that kind of thing, that's crazy.
I'll tell you what. Sykes wouldn't be the first player this split to farm impressions with a situation like this. I can't say who, but I know for a fact of a player that has done something like that in this split. I guess, so the thing is I don't know, was Sykes ever officially signed by Liquid? Because what Sykes was, or was he just added to the roster by Fun and Nocturnal? Because that is something that happens. Like, other teams have had 2 players signed. They have brought in a third, but not officially signed them to the org, but they have competed with the team and under the banner in ALGS. That is not an uncommon occurrence. So I would say the caveat here is if TL, because maybe going into the split, they're looking to part ways with the team. It wouldn't make sense for them to sign the new player, but they would be like, yeah, you could play with the team. We don't give a fuck. Like, it's their choice. If Sykes never signed with the team, then it would make sense that any offers to Team Liquid wouldn't include Sykes because they can't sell Sykes. They don't own his rights. They don't have him under contract. So I think that is an important point to make here, that if Sykes never officially signed with Liquid, they don't have a contract with Sykes to sell, so they could only ever offer the duo.
I'm really confused now, too, because I'm like, this is, by the way, as hot as it gets right off the press, like in the middle of the podcast this is occurring.
I'm literally like, I have Sykes' Twitter pulled up right now.
I have
and
his
an hour
Twitter
ago
and
said,
many other
unfortunate
places.
situation, wish the best for the boys, all bounce back. I also just find it hard to believe that with that kind of performance, you know, unless specifically they like went to an org to sign and the org said, we don't want Sykes, we want someone else. That's like the only way that I see them dropping him at this point.
I know for a fact it's very likely that we see them as free agents not last very long.
Yeah.
Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Caveat here, I cannot confirm whether or not this is trolling. My first instinct would be to take Sykes at their word.
Tiff is throwing us another direction.
Oh my god! Thanks, Tiff.
I almost
fun and Nocturnal for all future tournaments.
I almost want to comment on this. Stop impression farming, please. Yeah, I was gonna say, if Chaotic's tweeting this, I just want to be like, bro, how the analytics looking on Twitter?
Yeah. Now that I would say that doesn't necessarily confirm that it's troll.
Tiff, I'm driving LMAO.
For me,
no idea.
For me, the only thing that confirms is that Chaotic is trolling, because I don't think.
Oh yeah.
Like, that seems like a troll to me. That could be just Chaotic, like going, oh, like this would be funny because everybody's speculating about Sykes right now. Yeah. Also, the Sykes thing might be a reaction because I saw what is it? The Apex Legends transfer updates Twitter put out the tweet that TL was dropping their roster but didn't include Sykes on like the graphic, and people were like, Sykes ? And that was when I first thought to myself, oh, Sykes might not have been signed, so technically they weren't dropping him because they never signed him, and that could
technically signed him, therefore
so maybe Sykes is like playing off the people asking questions about that. Again, this is entirely speculation. All we do know, the Team Liquid roster no longer with TL, and allegedly dropping there have been rumors that they're signing with a new team. It could be Cap. Like
I have good word from a reputable source that it is very
Cap.
Very, very Cap.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. And they would know because they know other things right now that I cannot share.
That would make sense. Oh, let's see. I love shout out to everybody in chat just like dropping us the links to the spicy tweets. Nocturnal tweeting out joined Sentinels. 2 minutes ago.
It's Cap. It's full Cap.
It is.
It's 100%. It's 100%
so
Cap.
It would seem to us that Sykes is having fun, farming some impressions, possibly based off of the fact that other tweets were coming out saying that the Liquid roster got dropped, but Sykes wasn't technically dropped.
Right.
It seems to me that the most likely situation here is Sykes was never signed by TL, so they don't have to drop him. They wouldn't, any offers to sell the roster would not include Sykes because he wasn't signed, and that Sykes is probably still playing with the team.
It would be the biggest drama of all time if we go lose TL, obviously from ALGS, and then turns around, new org, and it's knocking fun, but Sykes isn't part of it after having one of the most dominant seasons alongside the roster. It would go down in history as the most absurd thing to have ever occurred in Apex, and it has to be unlikely because that would just be fucking crazy. It's the reason why we have so many impressions as it is right now.
Yeah. Shout outs to chat for just dropping the
thanks guys, we
the
appreciate
sauce
that.
and the good tweets for us. Yeah, I'm just curious. I wanted to check player kills. Sykes currently in North America tied for 6th place in kills. with Verholst.
He's the joke.
You know,
I mean,
Sykes
he's
has
the
been,
GOAT.
Yeah, Sykes has been a big part of Liquid's success. Nocturnal, 10th, tied for 10th with 44. Fun down there with 38 at 24th. Like, Sykes has been a big piece of the puzzle here for the team. And the other thing too, the other thing to think about here is like, okay, theoretically, let's assume that Sykes is getting dropped. Who are you bringing in? Like, I guess that the immediate eyes would turn to C9, right? Because that was, I think, what you immediately said to me was like, oh, TL Naughty?
Yeah, there's Naughty available, question mark, and a bunch of other, like, what the hell?
So, I'm definitely leaning towards the impression farming route at this point. When...
All right.
Okay, let's. You want to go to Q&A? That's our thoughts on Team Liquid, guys. That got out of hand. Look, even Designful right now, 2 minutes ago, now playing with Fun and Nocturnal for all future tournaments.
Yeah, everyone's hopping
on
the third member train for now. They're crazy. Zephyrcast, you're so good. I hope you get good opportunities in the future. That's so sweet. I hope you get good opportunities in the future. But yeah, let us branch this over. It's Q&A time. It's your favorite segment of the night. You guys get to ask whatever questions you want, our thoughts on Apex Legends, and of course the competitive scene. I will obviously wrap this TL discussion up very quickly though, as you guys start putting them in chat.
Yep.
It is a shame to see TL find their way out. We already discussed it, I believe, one time when it was first announced alongside the Hot Zone. It is very sad, though, to see Steve come out and explicitly say that he did not believe the infrastructure and the financial situation that Apex was building in an esports scene is cited as the main reason for why TL doesn't want to be a part of it.
It is a bummer. First question, when are you coming out with Hot Zone trading cards? What will be on them? I want all of them. No trading cards in the works. We do have a swimsuit calendar kind of going on. You would not believe how good Zephyr looks in a Speedo. That's all I'm going to say.
Y4SO's fucking stacked like a brick house.
Yeah, no trading cards, swimsuit calendar incoming.
What's your favorite impression farming moment in Apex history? Oh shit. I don't know. There's been some pretty cap ones.
Yeah, I can't think of many. I mean, I can think of one that I didn't like. This one's funny. I'm enjoying this one. The data mining, like Raven's tweets.
Oh my
the data
god,
mining stuff came out were actually
impressions
incredible.
Were so good.
Yeah, Raven was hilarious in the quote unquote fallout of that whole thing. That was pretty interesting.
All right, yeah, I see that. GG just barely managed to avoid being relegated. Do you think they'll be able to get back on top and split too?
I think they can be better. I'm not holding my breath that they'll be like a top 5 team in Split 2.
They're very capable. It's just, I mean, we literally got the opportunity to see them at their best during the split. They had a first place finish on a match day, right? They are a team that definitely knows how to play the game, but obviously all the issues regarding their country situations and balancing that has been a huge pressure on the roster. And really, until we see Europe as a region stabilize, I don't know what to say about Gaiman.
Yeah.
Clearly capable, just it's going to really depend on the environment that surrounds them right now. And Hardeki put out a huge tweet, obviously, just a few days ago, expressing his dissatisfaction with himself and Gaiman this split and how bad it has felt for him and how he wants to do better and be better. So I only wish for the best in that regard.
Yeah. And in terms of like, you know, if I'm looking at like them getting back on top, that's me seeing them in the top 5. I think the bigger gate to them getting into the top 5 has nothing to do with their play and has even more to do with actually just how good the top end of EMEA has been this split. You look at the current top 5 with IG, Alliance, Vexed, Aurora, Ascend. That is such a tough group to break into. I would hope that Gaiman Gladiators can kind of settle down and get some things in order, and hopefully find a little bit more consistency next split. Pulling for them for sure, but we'll have to see when we get there.
Do you think we get a new LAN at Champs, or do DZ hit the three-peat? Or a new LAN Champs? Do you think DZ hit the three-peat?
No, new LAN Champs.
We get new LAN Champs.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure. Energy wins LAN.
Ooh, not Team Liquid.
Who?
Well, I guess
Who?
Beast Coast, possibly. That is one of the teams like rumored to sign them. You don't think Fun knocked in
No,
Sykes?
Energy
You're
on
taking
top,
Energy?
baby. I'm going off
Okay.
of Dia. He's a reputable source here in North America.
That's true.
And
That's true.
Energy #1.
That is fair. Yeah, I would say, credit to Dark Zero. I think especially when you look at their performance at Champs, like they were good. They got themselves into the right place at the right time and won. They were not the best team at Champs. I think you can make an argument that they weren't in the top 3 of the best teams at Champs. I think there's an argument to be made there. Now, you don't have to be to win, as Dark Zero
That's how match
very
point
much
works.
showed. But if I'm betting on it, I think I'm taking the field. I don't think we see the 3-peat. I think we get a fucking EMEA champ on LAN this split. I think EMEA looks incredible, and I think the group of Vexed, Aurora, and Ascend are going to be fucking dangerous at playoffs.
I agree. I think that's going to be very, very, very disgusting. I am, though, more interested, obviously, in the regional finals here, too, though, just to end off the season for North America, because that's always fun.
Yep.
I'm a little memeing with Energy. I do think they're very capable away with a finish on the day of.
Yep.
But I really do want a TSM win.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. I don't know what it's been, and it has nothing to with all this cool free merch.
Oh, did Raven send you some stuff?
No.
I
But
did hear that there was a break-in at TSM headquarters recently.
I might
Can't
be
imagine
a
that-
slight
who that'd have been.
supporter
Yeah.
moving forward.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Oh, minus tempo.
God, it's Zephyr.
Some things might
be coming your way.
Hey, I already got free stuff. Come on.
Send them my way, minus tempo.
Send them Yeso's way. But feel free if you want. I am seriously though. I do really think TSM have improved to such a degree going into this particular split, and I'm not going to be I'm not fanboying or anything, but I'm not going to be a fucking. I think they're very clearly capable, and they have displayed that they can easily walk in the day of and finish the job. TL being probably the only other squad that can maybe replicate a similar success. With I would hand a happy third over to the guard.
I would. That is the team that I have my eye on the most going into the regional final. That I really would like to see have that big performance. I would really like to see Guard finish top 3 in regional final. I think that would give them so much momentum going to playoffs. And they've had a bit of an up and down split. They've got the two first place finishes under their belt, which is really damn good. I think themselves and TSM are the only 2 teams in North America to do that. So credit to both of them. Want to see them finish out strong. They've got tonight. They've got Sunday. Give me a couple of top 5, top 3 finishes here, and the Guard are looking really damn good going into international play. Energy fans need TSM to win because it locks in their land placement too. Then there's that.
Why is every team signing a coach so late into the split? It's not Sykes. It's 6. Yeah. 100 Thieves.
Yeah.
Didn't talk about that. But
shout out to 6, by the way.
6 coaching 100 Thieves now.
Yeah,
legit.
Congratulations. That's awesome. 100 Thieves, a team peaking at the right time, in my opinion. If they can have a good performance tonight, it's another team to keep your eye on going into the regional playoffs, because they're looking better. They started the season a little shaky, but they're looking pretty good right now.
Also, you answer your question, coaches work. They're important.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. I think
Sign them now instead of later. All right. They can only assist.
players in IGLs are talented and incredibly knowledgeable. I think the problem that players have when they don't have a coach is they can become get a little bit of tunnel vision, and I think coaches a lot of the time do a really good job of having that broad perspective and being able to analyze things from kind of multiple different directions. And I think they help separate themselves from that kind of in-game bias you have as a player where like something works and you tend to just try and repeat that one thing. And I think coaches help players break the mold sometimes and see things from a different perspective. And I think it's very important in Apex to find a coach that can help you do that, because I think it is only going to make your team better and more adaptable.
I was about to say, you look towards TSM as a great example. Having a very
Liquid
really,
too?
Yep, Liquid too. But I like TSM even more so because you get to see what happens to a team without a coach and how detrimental it can be in the wrong situations.
Mm-hmm.
And then Raven comes on board here, obviously, and this is now the first major split with Raven in full force,
Mm-hmm.
and it is so apparent. I mean, take the time if you ever get the chance to go listen to how Raven communicates with that roster, with Hal and everybody, and how that has really balanced out some of the problems behind the scenes for TSM. I think that's so important.
Who do you guys think sneaks into LAN from North America / in maybe an updated dark horse pick? Who sneaks into the
Who
playoffs?
sneaks in?
Mm.
I'll do EMEA. You do America.
Okay, I gotta open up
Let me do some standings here.
Wikipedia one more time.
For EMEA, a team that could sneak in if they have a good performance towards LAN coming into the regional finals. It's going to be tough. It's a very top-heavy region, so it's not super apparent.
I'm gonna say MPS for North America.
That's a good pick.
And it's specifically because you may look at it and be like, wait, they're in top 9 right now. But HEC, SSG, Furia are all relatively close in points and get to play one more match day tonight. So it is very likely that MPS drops out of that top 9, and then they're going to have to get something done. I think MPS can have a really good performance and get themselves back into LAN on Sunday. So that's my pick for that kind of dark horse pick to make LAN. Especially because I don't think anybody was pegging MPS to be a LAN team at the start of this split.
I don't think a dark horse exists for EMEA at all. I think the top 8 teams that are currently there deserve to be there, and that mathematically it will just be either a trade between 8th and 9th for some of the teams that are nearby, or it will stick as Element 6 and VZN. I do not think there's anything spectacular about LFO, Game Ward, or V2 or Horizon that really sing or stand out to me as a team that is like quote unquote has this remarkable skill behind the scenes that they deserve that kind of switch up.
Yeah.
Is there always a chance that one of these teams walks into match point format, pulls out a win, and then they're on their way to LAN? Sure, you never know, right? But do any of them seem like the type of team right now that's at their peak and going to do so? Personally, I'd say no.
Fair point. Let's go last
EMEA,
question. Last question for the day. Which team do you think can win regional finals? So we've kind of looked at our dark horses or lack thereof. Who do you think wins? Are you on the same train of thought as Tyler in terms of Ascend?
I said Ascend in IG from the very get-go, even before Tyler. Ascend was definitely my go-to pick for regional finals as the team that is the most winningest, and if they are on their best foot forward, just seem to understand the game on a different level in terms of guaranteeing them success. I think, are they the team that has like the highest highs? No. I award that to Vexed. If Vexed comes out and rips ass on the day of, they'll shit on everybody.
Okay. That is one way to put it. Yeah, I'm right on board with you there. Especially, I don't know if you heard the stat on the broadcast that Gasket dropped today, but said, I think it was before IG even won game 1, said that on World's Edge, IG has going into today a 30% win rate when they make top 10 and a 66% win rate when they make top 5 in terms of playing games on World's Edge this split. And that only got better with their 2 wins in 3 games on World's Edge today. So IG is my favorite, and I think that's going to be a very compelling regional final to watch. In terms of North America, I'm taking
TL and TSM.
I'm taking TSM and NRG. I think TL finishes. I think there's no way TL finishes outside of the top 3.
Okay.
But I'm taking a bit of a shot in the dark here and taking TSM NRG. But I don't think I know, and that is not.
All right.
TL can fucking do it. Let's be clear. And I have admitted multiple times on the show that I completely
this guy underestimates
fucking missed the
every
mark
time.
on TL. I think there's no way. I think TL finishes top 3 guaranteed. But I think TSM or NRG win.
I'm just saying, you underestimate them. Every
Am I
time.
underestimating them that much by guaranteeing top 3? And just saying that I expect NRG or TSM to finish higher?
Okay. Well, it's been a great podcast. Fantastic showing from all of y'all in chat today. Expect Team Liquid's new team to be announced tomorrow. That's official. You heard it here first. And that's it.
Did you just see a tweet before everybody else? Nice.
No.
Week. Can't wait to compete with Fun and Nocturnal. Everybody, dude, hold on. I'm gonna fucking put out a tweet soon, man. Like
playing with Fun and Nocturnal. Mm-hmm. It's me, Zephyr Cast, coming in.
I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, everybody, for continuing to come out and watch the show. We appreciate it. Big shout outs to TylerFPS for jumping on with us after his games today in Pro League. That was awesome to get to talk with him and just get some insight from a top player in Pro League, and we wish him and Vexed the best of luck this weekend.
No podcast next week.
Yes, no podcast next week. Enjoy your holidays, everybody. Zephyr and I are going to take a week off. We are planning on being back, though, the Thursday before New Year's. I think it is December 29th. It is December 29th, so we're planning on being back for an episode there where we'll look back at the regional finals and start to look forward to what we're going to see at playoffs. So keep an eye out for that episode, but enjoy next week off. If you missed any of today's episode, make sure to check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, which we found out last week that I do not send my podcast there, but our podcast there, but apparently they automatically go. Anchor.fm, YouTube as well. Also, special shout out to the mods over on the competitive Apex subreddit who have been putting up live posts for the podcast as well as links to where to find the show. So we greatly appreciate that. So if you're like, where the hell do I find the podcast? You can actually go over to the Comp Apex subreddit and see the posts, and it's all linked in there. So you can check that out. So big thank you to them. But that's going to be it. I don't know what Zephyr is chuckling about. Any final thoughts before I get us out of here?
I sent you a meme. Take a look.
Oh, that's right. I'm on streamer mode, so I don't get the notifications. That was a great tweet. Shout out to Rakanishi with the consistency is key tweet. With their 5 19th place finishes
in a row
this split.
I love Rak too. Don't forget that.
I absolutely adore Rakanishu. He is a wonderful human being. I'm just gonna leave it at that. Consistency is
that's
key.
it. That's all you have to leave it at.
Have a wonderful weekend, folks. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Enjoy regional finals this weekend.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. We'll see you later, folks.